This is an overview of Trade Breakup, building and construction management software. This is the main estimating list. We have 7 estimates here. Number 7 there is locked, it can be unlocked. It's password protected. Once it's locked, you can't change it. You can add notes to any estimate. Let's go into the demonstration estimate and have a look at it. That's the name, etc. of the estimate, and the customer, etc. The address. We'll go into the demonstration estimate. The name of this estimate is demonstration. It has the left-hand side has all the cost centers or trade breakups, and the right-hand side has all the items within those cost centers or trade breakups. So this demonstration estimate, the first cost center is preliminaries, the second one earthworks, and we've got footings, plumbing, all the way to labour. If we click on to the estimate name, it expands the cost centers. So within preliminaries we have that. We have queue leave fees, for example. That's what we've got here. We'll click on one of the cost centers. It shows you just the items in that cost center with the price and all that expanded on the right hand side. We'll just view the whole estimate for now. These are all the items within the estimate. When you add an item to the estimate and to a cost center within the estimate, some of the field names included are the item name, description, the cost, the quantity, the total cost, which is the quantity times the cost, and the total price. The total price is the SAR price. And the total price can be set. One way of setting it is going to estimate settings, and we've got here estimate markup. We have a profit margin of 20%. You can have a set amount or percentage or none. This checkbox here is to say that whether it includes GST or not. Okay, or any type of tax. Commonly GST. So it's ticked. So here we've got council fees, $600, total price $750. We can see the total cost of the estimate is $852,078, and there's a total price with a 20% markup, $1,065,098. Okay, if I scroll down, you can see some of the items in red. And these red ones indicate they've come from a global structure. We've got global structures down here. So I'll click on global structures. We have 3 global structures in the system. And what global structures are like kits. And they include items. For example, this door one includes these items. And these items are pre-assigned to cost centers. So when you drag this global structure, go back to the cost centers or the full estimate, we drag it into the estimate. Door, for example, could be assigned to doors or windows. Some items could be assigned to doors and windows, and others could be assigned to internal doors. So when you drag the global structure into the estimate, they're assigned automatically to all the different cost centers or trade breakups. Here's the cost summary. We have the total price. There's the GST, the total cost, total cost. There's the GST, and there's the SAR price, million and a bit, and there's the GST, and there's our profit, 213,000. Okay, we'll generate a job off this estimate. So you can add as many items as you want, as many trade breakups or cost centers as you want. Let's create a job from this estimate. I'll click on this button here, create job from this estimate. Here's our job. I'll save that. The job screen has a few tabs across the top. The first tab has the job details. It's got all the items as well within the job, within the cost center of that job. So preliminaries, as per estimate, has these items. for these costs. So we want one of these, that's the cost and that's the total cost. We want 1.5 of these, that's the cost and that's the total cost. That includes GST. Now once you've done your estimate and you've got your job card, you can add new items to the job and new cost centers as well. Let's go to the job costing tab. The job costing tab is brought over from the estimate as well. It also has all the cost centers, and that's the estimated budget from the estimate, the total budget, which changes if you have a variation, the budget will increase, and you've got to do, the forecast and overrun. And the totals there on the bottom here. Okay, so we'll start doing some purchases for this job. You can generate all the purchase orders in one go by clicking this button. And the way it does it is, for example, if preliminaries has 10 items, 4 from one supplier and 6 from a second supplier, it will generate 2 purchase orders, one with 4 items and one for 6 items, the second supplier. And it'll do the same thing for every cost center on the job. That's and then you can give your site manager all the purchase orders at once, and he can hand them out and order things as he likes. So to do that, all you do is you hit the button, generate purchase orders. You can say select all, selects everything, or you can choose a cost center. You just click on generate purchase orders. But we won't do that now. I'll just show you how to do a purchase order one at a time. So if we go to purchase orders, and we'll select the job that we want. That one there is the one we created, and we'll say we want that, and council fees. Okay, you can select them by cost center or supplier as well. So we've selected these 4 items, and here's some detail about what items gets these from the job card. So this is council fees at $600, and there's a supplier there. And the cost center is preliminaries. So you can just choose a cost center, only the items in that cost center will come up. So I'll go OK. So those items are inserted onto the purchase order. There's the job number, there's the cost center, quantities, description. We'll just go save. So it's $6,585. We'll go save. We go back to the job, we'll see $585 orders. Okay, if we double click on that, you'll see what's inside the orders, all the orders for that cost center. So there's council fees again, $600. I'll be referring to council fees a few times because it's sort of a round number, 600. Okay, I'll click out of that. Go to job detail, it shows you that these items here have been ordered. They're in red now, it's on order. Variations are in purple. The other ones are pending in yellow. Received are in white. And they're returned, they go in grey. These ones are ordered, and that one's ordered. We've ordered 1 and 1 of council fees. So we've got this screen here and this screen here, and they both show council fees. Now the difference between this screen, this is like a summary. This screen here is more detailed, and it has the purchase order number. You can have multiple purchase orders. It will show a star, and if you right click on it, it will show you all the purchase orders for that item on that cost center, under that cost center. Also, you can order things from here as well. I can say create purchase order. Let's do, even though we've ordered council fees, let's order it again. We'll see what happens. So we'll go create purchase order. Before we do that, let's generate purchase invoice or delivery. So we'll go to, that's not our job, it's this one. Okay, let's go generate invoice and see what happens to the job. Yes. So there's the invoice. We'll save that. It's got the, we'll put an invoice number, so the supplier's invoice number might be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, the supplier's invoice number, we can put a due date on there, so the due date 3rd of November. It pulls over the address of the supplier as well. We'll go save. We go back to the job. So that's gone in white now. It means that's been received. Those items have been received. We go to job costing. The order has disappeared, and now we've got the same amount, but now it's been invoiced, and it's 26% complete. The forecast is still the same, and it's 26% complete, and now it's been invoiced. If we order, I'll show you another way of doing an order. If we order another council fees, so I'll say create purchase order, you can do it directly from here. And we order another one. So we order half, okay? So we know the council fees is 600. If we order half, it's 300. But remember, we've already ordered one at 600. So now we're ordering another half, which hasn't been budgeted for. It's not on the job, and it's not on the estimate. So this is like an increase in cost variation, not a SAR variation. So an increase in cost of 300. So if we go back to the job, so we go to job costing, see we have an overrun of 300. Okay, now we have overrun this cost center and the whole job basically at the moment by 300, because that council fees was already purchased here. We already accounted for it here at 600, but we bought another one at 300 without budgeting for it. Okay, it wasn't in the original estimate, it wasn't in the job either. We could have added it in the job at a later stage. So we add item to cost center down here. Now if you have a look, there's the extra one there. See, it's like a cost variation, increase in cost. So there's the council fees, we've ordered half there, there's the purchase order number, and the original one is still there as one. Now, I've never seen, I don't think there is another system that has this sort of screen, that like the detail this screen has, and the way it works, like it just adds things and things are moved around, and it just shows you what's been ordered and received and variations, etc. And then with the delivery numbers there, there's the delivery number there. If I right click on it, it tells you what's been delivered. So for example, the council fees, if I right click on the purchase order, it shows you line number 9, there's a purchase order number, we've delivered, we've ordered 0.5, and that was the original price there, and that's the cost, it's 300. So there might be an item, for example, labour. You've got labour there, you might have 600 hours of labour. When you right click on it, it will show you all the purchase orders for that labour, so you can see all the orders that you've done for that item named labour. Because you don't have to, you wouldn't order 600 in one go, you might do 10 at a time or whatever. And that's just an example. Okay, so that's so there's the overrun there, so it tells you in advance. While we've only just started the job, it says, look, you've already overrun by 300. So it's good to know your costs in advance, and like if you want to keep control of your costs, it's a good way to know in advance. And there's a percentage completion there, and there's a total overrun. So you might, if you overrun too many cost centers, you're going to lose money. But you can underrun as well, so you've sort of made a gain. But when you underrun, it'll have an underrun in black here. Okay, the overrun column will be in black. Another way of doing purchases is, which is quite unique to this system. It isn't available anywhere else. Is through the purchase cash book. So the purchase cash book is like doing a purchase where you don't need the supply details and all that. You just want to enter a quick sort of purchase. So if we call this one Visa, first quarter 2016, 2017, for example. I'll just call it Visa first quarter. 2017, for example. I'll put the date in, so 12th, the 11th, 2016. I know the default account is called expense account or something, so we'll just use the default account for now. So we want to order some office supplies. Office supplies. You can set the default account to anything you want. We'll go 100. We can assign a job and a cost center as well, but we won't assign anything at the moment. We'll just go save. Cash entry, save. Okay, it's gone to labour expense. Right, we can't set an account. We'll do another one. So you come back the next day. This is like an Excel sheet. If you come back the next day, that item is still there, and this sheet just grows and grows. So you've got 43, it just grows and grows and grows. You've got line 149, it just grows. So it always stays there, and you can print it off at the end of the year, and you can see everything you purchased, like printing off a huge Excel sheet. So on the next day, on the 13th, the 11th, 2016, we're getting some, I don't know, so accounting fees, accountants. So accountants, right? You can choose an expense account here. So we type in A, there's accounting fee, so you can change expense account as well. And we'll say it's $1,000. We can allocate it to a job. Let's allocate this to a job. Just say the accountant just worked on this job, one job. It was an important job, and we needed some auditing and some things. So we'll select the job and select the cost center, memories, and go save. Okay, so if we come back to it, so I clear the screen, if we come back to it, it all stays there and it just grows and grows and grows. Now this is definitely unique to this system. It's quite simple to use. You can just go tab, 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 and tab, 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 and just enter your details really quickly. Okay, there's another way of doing purchase as well, a third way, or fourth way, or third now. If you go into banking, you've got spend money here, same sort of thing. Just, you got the supplier, you select the supplier. So it's supplier here, and we're spending $2,000, and you can assign it to a job and a cost center as well. You can look up, delete, and all that sort of stuff. These things, you change them. So let's have a look at the job. See what the job looks like now. Overrun by 1,300. Looks like $1,000 from the cash book was an overrun as well. So there's the purchase cash book. The accountant fees was an overrun because it wasn't anticipated, and it was not on the estimate, and therefore not on the job card. On the job, and we did not add it to the job at any stage. Trade Breakup has also some specialised reports, like balance sheet as of date. So it's not just the balance sheet year to date, you know, what's happening as of today. You can say what was the balance sheet as of 2 months ago. So it keeps historical records, and you can go back and get a snapshot of any time, any date. So all you do is you select that. It just tells you what date do you want. I can say as of October the 11th. Okay, so it's going back a month. It doesn't any date. You can choose any date, and it'll give you the balance sheet as of any date. And that way you can reconcile it with your payables report. For example, even the payables report, you've got as of date payables report. I can't find it now, but it's there somewhere. By full month, year date. Yeah, it's there somewhere. Based on payment due date. You've got reports based on payment due date as well. Okay, so you can say, give me everything outstanding based on a payment due date. And you've got as of date reports for the suppliers and the customers. Now, what else have we got? Okay, in the general ledger, you've got your general journal there. You can where you do debits and credits. You know, the accountants like to use that to you know, adjust things or fix mistakes, or you know, bookkeeper can do it as well, but you can do it as well. It's just from account to account. It's quite straightforward. You put a job number to that as well. You put a cost center to that as well. You can allocate to a cost center. Now this here, you can have multiple items obviously in the general journal. And we've got this thing here called transfer funds. As well, where you can transfer funds, it's just got from account to account. It's a simple way of doing a debit and credit. We've got a payroll system. You've got your timesheet. Can be allocated to all your employees. You can select your employee. You can allocate select the payroll category and the job cost center. Tells you it's already set. There's the cost rate, there's a charge out rate. You put in the hours. Okay, these are the hours, and that's your cost rate, and that goes on to the job card as well. And it goes to that cost center. It's costed like anything else. Okay, so if we go back to the job card, there's the earthworks that we just did. There's the payroll entry there. Time card. Tells you the time card was 6 hours, 8 hours, etc. That employee there. So that was the cost there. It comes from the charge out rate. Not the charge out rate, the cost, sorry. It's all about cost. Job card's all about costing things. If we look at detail, you'll see the time cards coming here as well from the payroll. There. Okay, so if we go to the job costing, okay, we've got a contract summary here. There's a contract summary plus variations. There's your total. You've got delivery instructions, so you put delivery instructions there. So if you generate all the orders for a job, or any order for this job, it'll have the delivery instructions on there, with delivery address, the delivery date, supervisor's name, supervisor's phone number, and any instructions you want to put in here. We'll go into sales module. We'll do a variation, like you've got your normal invoicing. You've got your normal invoicing screen. We'll do a variation for that job. So we'll select our job, find job, this one here. All details are inserted onto the variation. So you want one door, and the cost is $300. The charge out might be $400. And also the cost center. We'll type in, we'll go preliminaries again. Okay, so well, preliminaries are not really going to have a door, is it? Type in doors and windows. Okay, I'll go save. Let's go to the job. We'll have a look at the job costing. And where's the job? Oh, hang on, I didn't approve the variation, that's why it's not on here. But let's go back to the variation and approve it. That one there, so it's open. So once it's approved, it goes to your costing. Okay, now we've approved it. Go in here. There is the variation. You'll see the budget is there, 90,000. It's gone up. The total budget has gone up by 300. But it's not really an overrun because the customer is paying for that variation. So the budget's gone up by 300. There, from that, there, to that. The budget's gone up by 400. So as a forecast, but it hasn't overrun. So that's the variations. Just go back to the payroll for a second. The payroll, I showed you the timesheets there. It's a couple of ways of doing the payroll. There's just the basic right paycheck. Select the one at a time, the employee, and then print his pay slip. Or you can process payroll and do it in a bulk sort of way. So select weekly, and you can process all the employees in one go, or you can select which ones you don't want to process. With the purchases, we'll go to purchases for a second. The purchases, to pay a supplier, you can do it this way. You can select the supplier. This is the standard way to pay a supplier. He has no outstanding invoices. Select another one. So we'll select that one there. He has 2 invoices. You can pay him this way. You just go record. That'll pay that supplier. You can upload an ABA file, an Australian Banking Association file, to your bank, and that'll pay everyone in one go, including your payroll, pay all the suppliers. Another way of paying suppliers, you can do it in the bulk method, authorize and pay. So that's the invoice we did for that job that we just created. The supplier invoice number is there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's the date, today's date, the due date, the amount paid 0, outstanding, etc. So let's say we want to authorize that one, this one, select that, authorize. So that one's been authorized. There's the amount authorized, there's the total amount authorized, and with this one here we can part authorize. So I'll say part authorize that one. This one's $1,345. I'll part authorize it to $345. Go OK, that one's part authorized. Now I can pay all the suppliers in one go. There might be 200 purchase orders there, and I can authorize and part authorize as many as I want, and I can pay them all in one go to all the various suppliers, and update a file, upload a text file, an ABA, Australian Bank Association file, to my bank, and that'll pay all the suppliers. So that saves you a lot of time there. Okay, so bank will pay all the suppliers according to that text file generated by Trade Breakup. So these are some of the things the program does, and I'm sure it'll make you more organised, and hopefully make a profit by controlling all your costs. You'll have there's one more thing I want to show you here. With an estimate, I can take snapshots anytime I want. I compare the current estimate, the old estimate, and I can also copy the whole estimate and reuse it for another client. And you can copy the one estimate and put it on another machine, or you can, so it's quite flexible there. And you can also create templates for these cost centers. So you can reuse the same template. I might create these 20 cost centers as a template and just import it for certain jobs that I do. So if you have any questions, the contact details are on tradebreakup.com.au. That's tradebreakup.com.au, and you can email us or phone us anytime, and we're on the phone 24/7, and we can usually answer you on the first call.